Well, in this economy, finding a job is hard, which makes keeping a job even more important.
Cambi Brown is alive this morning with what you need to know. Hey, good morning, Cambi.
Hey, good morning, guys. You know, unemployment really high right now. A lot of people might be going on jobs and asking themselves, why are they not calling me back, right? You feel like you're in college waiting for the phone to ring from that date that you went on. You know what I'm saying? John, Layla? Feel me on that? All right, so A+ Employment wants to help you with this, and there's a lot of reasons why people are not getting hired, and you know, a lot of times people don't realize what they're doing wrong. So what are some tips for people who are looking to get hired?
One of the best tips is while you're on the interview, never ever condemn your past employer or a coworker. Failure to look a potential interviewer in the eyes is really huge. A weak handshake, that's real important. An interviewer wants to know you're going to be a strong, confident person, and that shows that.
Let's talk about that really quick. I always feel like people who have weak handshakes don't know that they actually have a weak handshake. So how can somebody find that out, or how can they get some help on that?
Honestly, practice with your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers. A weak handshake is really shows a lack of confidence. So really just practice. Simple things like practicing with your family and friends at home is really helpful.
Okay, and what are some more tips for people searching for jobs?
Sloppy appearance, sloppy application, not filling it out properly. One of the best ways to screen yourself right out of the job on the application, if you write C resume, your interviewer will often think you're not following directions, and you're going to screen yourself right out of the position.
Okay, so you want to make sure that you fill out the full application. Hey, we're going to post something on our Facebook page for people who have some questions, if they're going on interviews, if they're looking for a job, so that they can maybe get some help from A+ Employment. You can also come here and check them out. We have some information on the screen so you know where you can find them, and get some help with your resume, with your interview skills, and maybe fine-tune everything so that you can get that job, because listen, the jobs are limited right now with our unemployment so high. So coming up, we're also going to give you some help with your interview tips, your resume, and also for newly college graduates or teenagers who are looking for maybe a summer job. We're going to have some tips for that as well. Right, it goes both ways. You know, once you get the job, you want to keep it as well. We want to talk about those college students and high school students. You know, we've talked earlier in past shows about how there's a hard time for teenagers looking for those summer jobs right now. So we are joined with Cindy from A+ Employment Company. Now, please give us some tips for these high school and college students who are really just trying to get maybe a temporary job.
Well, you want to focus on the positive about you. Ask for them to give you an opportunity. Let them know that you're a hard worker. You'll be there every day for them. Just always focus on the positive and follow up. Once you're putting your resumes out there, your applications, you can't just, you know, sit back and wait for them to call you. You need to call them and just follow up to let them know that you're serious about looking for this job.
A lot of businesses don't necessarily like hiring younger people because they don't feel like they're as reliable. How can you make sure that you let that employer know that you will be reliable, you will show up on time?
Just let them know that you're, you know, very trainable. As far as, you know, a new person that's never worked before, they're very trainable. You know, just let them, let them know all the places, like maybe that you volunteer, you know, put that on your resume or your application.
Or maybe sports too, because that shows that you have a dedication as well. And you know, we want to tell you guys that there are some job openings here locally. So if you're thinking, I don't even know that there's any jobs, I'm having a hard time finding a job, what are some of the open jobs that you guys have right now?
Right now we need people with 40-hour HAZWOPER. You really don't even have to have any previous experience, just that 40-hour HAZWOPER card, which you can obtain at West Tech or ABC. I need heavy equipment operators. Driver's license is a major plus. And I need some clerical people.
All right, so there you go. If you are looking for a job and you want some help, you want to check out those jobs that Cindy just mentioned, A+ Employment is the place to go. You can call them or go on their website right there. All the information on your screen. We're trying to help people get hired, help the economy. So a lot of people watching, in fact, on our last segment, actually Matthew called, and they're going to be able to help him try and find a job. He works with heavy equipment. So, we kind of talked about some of the job openings that are here in Kern County. But if you're going on these job interviews and you're putting out your resume tapes, not a resume tape, that's what we put out, you're sending out your resumes and you're not getting any calls back, there might be some reasons why that's happening. And A+ Employment can help you with your resume and with your interview skills. So what are some of the biggest mistakes that people make when they're putting their resumes together?
They will talk too much about their experience. They'll have a 2 or 3 page resume, and your interview or screeners are going to screen you right out. If it's too much for them to look through, they're not even going to bother. So you want your resume to always be 1 page. Just bullet point your strengths. What are your accomplishments? You don't need to go into a lot of detail. And proofread, proofread, proofread. I've had attorneys send me resumes that have had actual errors in them. So you really want to proofread 1 page. Your resume is only to entice that potential interviewer into wanting to meet you. That's it.
Okay, and then once you send the resume out and they call you in and you're going to be doing an interview, what are the tips for interview skills?
Interviewing, you want to relax, be professional, be positive, always make eye contact with your interviewer, say thank you when the interview is over, dress appropriately for your interview, and follow directions from your interviewer. It's really, really important. And listen, don't interrupt the person that is doing the interview for you. Once you've interrupted them, everybody in this industry knows a good interviewer realizes you have completely stopped listening to what their question is.
Okay, I didn't interrupt, and I want to tell you, thank you. Haha, I learned some interviewing skills right there. So we put that information on your screen, A+ Employment. If you bring in your resume, they can actually look at it, proofread it, help you out on that. It is so important to make sure you have someone else looking that over, because I cannot tell you how horrible it is when I see those spelling errors. Even on Facebook, it bothers me. So you want to make sure that when you're looking for a job, you're presenting the best possible person that you are to those employers. So we posted something on Facebook. If you have a question for A+ Employment, go on our Facebook page, Eyewitness News Bakersfield Now, and ask us, and in the next segment they will answer those questions live on the air for you. Guys?
Cambi, you mentioned the spelling. That's such a huge thing. I remember my previous job, I would get resumes from prospective interns, and I can't tell you how many times they had spelling errors, and lots of times I would just put them off to the side, because look, if you don't pay attention to that, what are you going to pay attention to when you come here?
Exactly.
The beauty of spell check.
Yes.
What are some important tips for us so that we can be a valuable employee?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is you don't ever want to take, like you said, your job for granted. Definitely never want to be late. So if we tell you need to be to work at 7 o'clock, you need to be there 15 minutes before 7. You don't ever want to call in sick, at least until you're there for a few months. That's one of the biggest complaints that we get from employers, that people just don't take their job seriously. Even if it's a temp job, you want to act like it's your job.
And that's how you can make sure that it becomes a full-time job for you. What else besides, showing up on time, not calling in sick? I feel like those are pretty standard ones that people know about. What are some things that people may not have considered that might be the reason that they're losing their job?
You always want to try to improve yourself. So, if you're, say, a welder's helper or something, maybe take some classes in welding to show your employer that you're a serious worker and that you want to improve yourself. You want to grow with the company.
But what about even asking your employer? Is that a good idea as well, to try and ask them what are some things I can improve upon?
Oh, definitely. You always want to, ask them if you're doing a good job. Are they happy with the job that, you're doing? Just let them know that you're concerned.
And really quick, I know you guys do have some openings that you guys are trying to place people in. If people weren't watching earlier, can you tell us some of those jobs again so people know if maybe they're qualified to get some of those jobs?
Sure. We're looking for heavy equipment operators, at least 5 years experience, hazmat. Again, you can get those classes at West Tech or ABC, some clerical positions that we have open right now.
Okay, so if you are looking for a job, those are some of the ones that they're trying to place. Let's put some information on the screen. A+ Employment Company, with that phone number or their website. You can get in contact with them and hopefully get a job and keep it. Based on those tips, I am finding out that pretty much all of us are not valuable employees, because oftentimes we do show up late. It's hard to get there at 4 o'clock in the morning, though. I'm just saying.
Your photographer just pointed the finger at you, Cambi.
I saw that.
Yeah.
He's late. You know, actually, he's like never late.
No, he's very responsible. Campi, thank you very much.